recording class. Maybe some folks want to go back or need to go back and watch class and make sure that that's good. Yeah. How many siblings do you have? Very good, Stacy. Right. Yay. All right. That works. Okay. Muy bien. So here's the plan today, you guys. We are going to see. Yes, we are going to repasar el vocabulario de la familia y cómo se usa la palabra de. Now, what does all that mean? That means that we were going to have a quiz on Thursday. And my goal is that we still have that quiz on Thursday. Okay. What's going to happen though, since we can't review on Canvas today, since we can't get in there today, we'll just need to review with it on Wednesday. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes. All right. Let me repeat it because Lay's getting ready to join us here. Okay. So buenos dias, Lay. I hope you can hear me. Look up here, please. We are going to have a quiz on Thursday on our family vocabulary. Yes. Okay. And so, I was going to review today for it, but since Canvas won't let us in, we'll review for it on Wednesday, but the quiz won't be until Thursday. Okay, you guys, until Thursday. So what we're going to do today is we're going to practice with using that word de, and it's spelled D-E. And we talked a little bit about it last week, and we're going to practice a little bit with it today. You would have had an assignment on it. Okay, obviously we're not going to be able to access the assignment. And then we're going to graduate today. We're going to graduate to a super important piece of Spanish that if we don't get this, and we're going to spend a little bit of time on it, you guys, several days. Yeah, shine, right, Marilisa. We'll figure it out, right? No problem. What was I saying? Oh, so we're going to graduate to a foundational piece in Spanish, right? You guys, like, we're going to spend a lot of time on it because if we have to understand this next bit, okay? And we'll talk about that more in just a minute. Now, here's what I want you to do, okay? I don't have guided notes for you. So if you are the kind of person who writes things down to remember them, then you need to get your notebook out, or you need to open a document. I'll give you a minute to get yourself organized to take some notes. I'm going to put up a document on the screen. I'm going to use it like as a whiteboard. You guys can copy down what you think is important for you. Okay. And that's essentially what we're going to do most of the hour today, just because, and then I have a song for you, just because we can't get into Canvas, right? So we're just going to have to kind of work our way around long ways. Okay. But like I said, we're graduating to another level in Spanish today. So make sure that you're taking notes if that's what you do to help you remember things. Okay. If it's a matter of, if it's a matter of maybe taking a screenshot or whatever, of the document that I put up, that's fine too. Just have a way, you guys to, jot some things down today. Yes. Okay. Or an app, if you have an app on your phone, or if you want to open your own document in Google, whatever you want to do. Okay. All right. What I need from you all, though, is a thumbs up whenever you're ready for me to start. Whenever you're organized and you're good to go, give me a thumbs up. Buenos dias, Carlin. Okay. Kimura's ready. Haley's ready. Marilisa's ready. Nikki's ready. Who else? James, you ready? Who else is ready? Heaven? Arshis, you ready? Stacy, see? Elizabeth? Oriana, are you ready? See? Priscilla? Yeah?
Yes.
All right, good job. Okay, well, I think I should probably try to get ready then, huh? All right. Now, this is something that you will see also on the quiz. Okay, you guys. So, I'm gonna make my stuff big here. Now, listen, if there's something that you cannot see, please make sure that you unmute and let me know, okay? You guys don't ever be afraid to like stop me or interrupt me or whatever. Okay, so here's what we're going to start with today, and that's our use of they. Okay, welcome, Aslan. Aslan, if you're a note taker, today is the day. Take some notes. Okay. All right. So someone's already told me that the word they can mean of. Do we know what else it can mean?
From.
Muy bien. Thank you for unmuting because it makes things go faster, doesn't it? Okay. So we need to know that it's of or from. Okay. The other thing that we need to know, and I mentioned it the other day, is that it replaces the apostrophe S in English. Okay. So it replaces that, yeah, come on, apostrophe S. Okay, it should be the other way, but you guys know what I mean. Okay. So what it does is it can show like ownership. It can show relationship. And so since we're talking about family, right, what we're going to do is focus on this idea of relationship. Okay, can y'all see okay? Like I said, remember, if you have an issue, please speak up, okay? All right, so let's say, for example, we're gonna if you're like a, I'll put this up here, but if you're like a formula kind of person, if you're like a more of a mathy person, okay, in Spanish, since we're not using apostrophe s's, what we need to try to remember is this relationship plus de plus a person, and it'll become more clear to you in just a minute. Okay. Okay, so in English, you guys, we would say Bob's, I don't want underlining. We need to stop underlining. We would say like Bob's daughter, right? So there's that apostrophe S. Okay, and that apostrophe S, when we say in English, that's Bob's daughter. What we're saying is that apostrophe S is like the relationship between Bob and this girl who happens to be his daughter. Okay, y'all following me here? Yeah, that's the role of our apostrophe S in English. Okay, is to like ownership or relationship. In Spanish, like I said, we're going to use de. So never, you guys, is it okay to use an apostrophe S in Spanish? That does not exist. An apostrophe S is English. Instead of an apostrophe S, you're going to use a form of the word de. So if I wanted to say Bob's daughter, so first of all, Heaven or Stacy, do we know the word for daughter? Pop it in the chat or you can unmute. What is the word for daughter? Very good. Hija, right? Hija, right? So we know it's la hija, right? Is daughter. So look at my formula, you guys. That's our relationship, right? Is the daughter. What would come next is they, and then the person, in this case, Bob. So in order to say Bob's daughter, we say la hija de Bob, right? And we could say la hija de Bob, I don't know, tiene 5 años or something, right? Bob's daughter is 5 years old. Okay, that would be like a sentence. Okay, everybody with me so far? Sí o no? Let's see what Miss Martin's telling us about our yeah, okay. All right, so let's try another one. I'm going to put another example up here on the board, and I would like for you guys to tell me how I would put it in Spanish, and you guys can just put it in the chat. First of all, do we know the word for cat? What's our word for cat? It was in our vocab, las mascotas. What was our word for cat? Yep. So el gato, right? El gato, right? So let's say I put here Andrea and gato. Okay. Let's do it in English. Let's do it this way. Let's say Andrea's cat. Okay. Now you tell me in Spanish, what would I do? What would I do if it's relationship? Very good, Marilisa. Let me take this off here so it's less confusing. How would I say it's Andrea's cat? Perfect, Stacy. Perfect, Heaven. Good, Elizabeth. Want to hear from everyone. How would I say, Marilisa? Good job. How would I say it's Andrea's cat? Very good, Arshis. Look at my word order. You see, guys, Spanish is going to have a different word order. So look at my example, right? It's the relationship, and then they, and then whoever the person is, whoever the owner is. Our word order is going to be different. So I want to see everyone try it. Aslan, Akari. Okay. Kamora, did you put an answer? Oh, you just put, oh, Rihanna, did you put one in? Nikki? James, did you put one in? Priscilla? How do I say Andrea's cat? Good, Carlin. Carolina, Nikki, did I hear from you? Come on, I need to hear from everyone. All right, so if we're saying, we would say el gato de Andrea, right? So let's look at it, you guys. We're literally saying, we're not saying Bob's daughter, we're saying the daughter of Bob. We're not saying Andrea's cat, we're saying the cat of Andrea, right? That's how we show ownership. That's how we show relationship in Spanish. And that's with the use of the word de. Okay. I need to hear from everyone so that I know that y'all are getting it. Okay. All right, let's try one more. Who remembers, or a couple more, who remembers the word for bird? ¿Cómo se dice bird in Espanol? It was part of our vocab. Good. Marisa, ¿cómo se dice bird? James, muy bien. Good. Come on. Don't worry about spelling, guys. Just pop it in. Just show me that you know, you have an idea. ¿Cómo se dice bird? Good, Priscilla. Muy bien. So it's el pájaro. Okay, el pájaro. Right? So let's say Maria's bird. How would I do it? Now I want to hear from everyone. If you didn't put one in last time, I need to hear from you this time. How do I say Maria's bird? Good, Kamora. Marilisa, see? Aslan, Lay, Nikki, Carolina. Very good. Very good. So, right. So we would just say el pájaro de Maria, right? The bird of Maria. Okay, good, Kamara. Okay. Okay, so let's do one more. let's do one more. Let's try, let's try, let's say, Bob's, brother. Let's try Bob's brother. How would we say that? Bob's brother. Brother, not child, but brother. Very good. Yes. Very good. Yay, I'm proud of you guys. Very good. Okay, don't forget our word of, right? That replaces the apostrophe S. So we would say el hermano, right? De Bob. Bob's brother. El hermano de Bob. Okay. Give me a 3, 2, 1 in the chat. 3, I got this. 2, I still have questions, or 1, I'm confused. 3, I got this. 2, I have questions. 1, I'm confused. Okay. And if you say a 2, what's your question? What is the thing that's confusing you? Okay. Is it just about practice? Okay. Tell us what's confusing. I don't get it. If you're telling me 1, right? So we just need to remember that this word de means of or from, right? So if you all were telling me, let me just give you another example. If you guys were telling me I'm from Columbus, Georgia, right? Soy de Columbus. I am from Columbus. Okay. So we can see our word de here, right? But meaning from. Okay. If we need to show ownership or relationship, right, then it replaces the apostrophe S in English. And if we wanted to say, for example, Maria's bird, we can't say that in Spanish. In Spanish, we have to say the bird of Maria, or like the bird that belongs to Maria. Okay. If we want to say it's Bob's brother, right? It's the brother of Bob. It shows us the relationship, the brother of Bob. The brother of Bob is tall, right? The brother of Bob, the sister of Bob is nice, or whatever, right? The daughter of Bob is pretty, whatever we're going to say in a sentence, right? Yeah. Well, that's okay, because they both start with an H, and, I get it, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions? So this is why, we're starting to build sentences. Okay, we're starting to build sentences, and there is a practice loaded into Canvas, but since we can't access Canvas, right, we'll just have to put it aside for just a minute. Okay, but there is a practice available to you. Okay. All right. Okay, let's switch gears. If you just joined us in class, I want to remind you that on Wednesday, we will review for a quiz, and that quiz will be on Thursday. Okay, so if you just joined us, Wednesday we'll review for a quiz. Thursday will be the quiz. Hang on one second, guys. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Okay. Ooh, so many interruptions today. All right. Now let's switch gears. Yay, we're going to graduate. So remember, you guys, like I told you the first of the year, Spanish is like climbing a big old long staircase, right? And so we're going to climb up another step. And this, we're on the landing. We're on the landing of Spanish, right? Our very first landing. And we need to make sure that that landing in our staircase is strong so that we can build the next level of steps. This is a foundational piece in Spanish that we absolutely have to understand. Okay? So if you're a note taker, like I said earlier, here we go. Now, we're going to do this in English first because it helps us to kind of make a connection. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing that. Don't go anywhere. And I'm going to see if I can pull this up since we don't have Canvas. I'm going to have to do this another way, right? Okay. Now, this might be hard to see at first, okay? And so I get it. We'll just make do as best we can. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. I should be able to share this with you in just a second. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can see the screen, if it's not too dark or whatever. Okay. All good. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now, again, we're doing this in English. We're going to start with English and then we'll transition into what it looks like in Spanish. Okay, so this first part, maybe you like, why is she telling us this? We already know this. Well, the reason why is because we're going to transition over to Spanish. Okay, all right. So what you see here are like 11 images of people and they're talking. And the question is, you guys, are they talking to somebody or are they talking about somebody? Okay. So for example, in English, if I say, you are tall. If I say you are tall, tell me in chat, am I talking to someone or am I talking about? To or about? If I say you are tall, am I talking to someone or am I talking about them? You are tall. If I say you are tall, yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm saying you are tall, right? I'm talking to you. Correct? If I say she is tall, am I talking to them or am I talking about them? If I say she is tall. About, I'm saying that gal over there, she's tall, right? Okay, good. What if I say they are students? They are students. Am I talking to them or am I talking about them? They are students. Very good. I'm talking about them. Very good. Okay, now let me ask you a quick question. A minute ago, I said you. I said you are tall. And you guys all told me, and you're correct, that I was talking to that person, right? Let's think about English. What if I was talking to more than one person? What if I wanted to tell, like me, the teacher, I'm talking to all of you. What would I need to say, you guys, if I was trying to tell all of you that you're tall in English? What would I say? How would I do it? Good, Stella. Yes. Good, Kimura. Good, Marilisa. How would I say, if I'm talking to a group of people like all of you and I want to say that you're tall, how would I do it in English? What would I need to say? James, what do you think? Yeah, very good, Heaven. Stacy, Charlie, what do y'all think? Marilisa? Yeah, there's multiple ways we can do it in English, right? We can say, you all or y'all are tall. And that tells us that we're talking to more than one person, right? We could also say, depending upon what part of the country we live in, we could also say you guys. You guys are tall, meaning all of you. Okay. So in Georgia, I'm assuming that it's common to hear people say y'all because you're in the South, right? It's a regional thing. Where I live in Kansas City, Missouri, we don't say y'all. We just say you guys. That's our plural for you. Okay. So there's multiple ways, or we could say like both of you or whatever, right? All of you guys, all of you. We could say it all different kind of ways, right? But my point is we need to be aware in English, because it's going to be the same in Spanish. If we say you, we're talking either to one person or we're talking to more than one person, right? And it's still like that word you or you all or you guys or all of you or however we want to translate it, okay? Because in English, we don't really have one word, one way to say you if we're talking to more than one person. Okay, so have I totally confused you? Yeah, y'all are tall. Very good. Everybody get what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay. Bueno. So let's look at this visual. We're going to do this in English. Okay, and then at some point, we'll see if we have time today. We'll go back and try to do it in Spanish. All right? Okay. So the first thing that I want us to do, and I'm going to open up my little doodle-my-bogger here. Okay. The first thing that I want us to do is, am I talking to someone or about someone? Okay. So let's look at number one over here. And we have this kid and he's talking, there's an older woman. So based on this image, do you think he's talking to someone or do you think he's talking about? So you can tell me in the chat, to or about. And I want to hear from everyone, to or about. Number one. Very good. So in number one, you guys, he's talking to this older person, okay? Because they're looking at each other. Very good, Kimura. And he's pointing at her. So he's saying you, right? He's talking to her. All right, how about number two? Is he talking to someone or about someone? Take a look, make a good guess. Very good, Kimura. Number two, is he talking to or about? Very good, Marlisa, Arshas. Come on, you guys. You got two choices. Just throw your hat in the ring. Let it fall where it may. Good. Muy bien. Muy bien. So he's talking about, right? And in this case, himself. Okay, he's talking about himself. Okay, good. Maybe I should switch this to white. Let me switch this to white. Okay. Oopsie. All right, number three. Is he talking to or about? Good, Heaven. Good. Okay, exactly. He's talking about her because, look, he's not looking at her. Yeah, he's pointing, but he's not looking at her. So he's like that gal over there, right? So this is going to be an about. Very good. Is that going to work? Yes, about. Let me fix this. Okay, right? About. Okay, how about number four? Is he talking to or is he talking about? Okay, you guys are telling me about. Now we're on number four here. Okay, so he's talking about. Now, is he talking about one person or more than one person? More than one. So very good. So we're going to do plural up here. All right. Okay, good. All right, number five. Good job, you guys. Number five. To or about, real quick. To or about. Okay, very good. To, and he's talking just to the one person. Can y'all see that font or that color, or do I need to change the color? Y'all can see that? Okay, okay. All right, 6. Be careful on this one. Yes, Kimura. Yes. Careful, Heaven. You're right. Yes. Yes. Yay. Good job, you guys. So they're talking about themselves. About themselves. Now let's look at this a minute. Okay. Up here in number 2, he was talking about himself. So wouldn't he say I, you guys, in number 2, right? He'd be saying I. If he's talking about himself, he's saying I, right? I go to school every day. Okay. Well, over here, they're talking about themselves, but he's saying I. So let's pretend this gal's name is Susie. Yeah. And he's talking, since he's our main dude up here. And he's saying, Susie and I go to school. Right? Susie and I. Let's pretend that. In English, do we have a way of saying, for example, Susie and I go to school? Yeah. Very good, Elizabeth. So would I say, so if I said, oh, Susie and I go to school, and if I said to you, who, because like I didn't hear you, who's going to school? How would you answer me? Yeah. What's another way of saying me and Susie? We. Okay. And so you guys, if you're taking notes, this is super important. Okay. When he's up here in number 2, pointing to himself, he's saying, I go to school. Right. But if it's Susie and I, in other words, if it's me and somebody else, then it's we. So the plural, y'all know what I mean by plural, right? More than one. The plural of I, okay, you guys, the plural of I is we in English. Okay, so those of you taking your notes, make sure you jot that down. The plural of I is we. Okay, good job. Great job. All right, let's go on. You tell me now. Number 7. Is he talking to or about? Número 7. Number 7. We're doing this in English, remember? Okay. Yes, he's talking to the little girl. Very good, Kimura, right? La hija, right? He's talking to the little girl. Okay. How about in número 8, number 8? Is he talking to these girls or about these girls? Okay, muy bien. He's talking about them. Okay, about them. Muy bien. Number 9, talking to these ladies or about them? Very good. You guys are good. See, to them, right? To them. Okay, can you see number 10? Is that clear enough to see, Blessing? Yeah, okay, number 10, is he talking to or about this boy? Okay, muy bien, he's talking about. Okay, good job. And the last one, is he talking to them or about them? About, okay. And he's talking about them, right? And they happen to just be a boy or a girl. Okay, good job. Nicely done. Okay. So when we think in Spanish, we think, yes, am I talking to someone or am I talking about someone, just like we did in English? But notice, you guys, that there's differences. So for example, in number 1, he's talking to this older person. And so for Spanish, we're going to make a little change. We have to keep these things in mind, okay? In number 8, for example, he's talking about 2 girls. Okay. But in number 4, he's talking about 2 guys. So we have to remember, we have to like incorporate together that masculine, feminine, singular, and plural issue in Spanish, along with, are we talking to someone or are we talking about someone? Okay. All right. Any questions before I kind of go on? Okay. All right. So let's kind of go back again in English. We're still working in English. And let's go back to number 1 up here. And we say that he's talking to this lady. So in English, would he say I? Would he say you? Would he say he, she, we, or they? What would he say, you guys, if he's talking to this lady? What would he say? He's saying what? What's he saying? He's going to say you. Isn't that right? He's going to say you. If he's talking to her, he's going to say you. Okay. If he's talking about himself, he's going to say I. We've already established that one. Good job. Okay. If he's talking about this girl, what's he going to say? He's going to say, no, he's going to say she. Very good. She. Okay, good job. All right. Now, if he's talking about these 2 guys, what's he going to say? He's not going to say them. He wouldn't start a sentence with them go to school. He would say what? He would say they go to school, right? They go to school. They. Okay. Everybody with me so far? Give me thumbs up. Okay. Now here again, he's talking to, we said, a girl. So what would he use if he was talking to her? He would say you. Okay. Right here, we said that they're talking about themselves. It's Susie and I. And so they would say we, right? Susie and I go to the store. We go to the store. Okay, good job. Okay, if he's talking to this little girl, what would he say? If he's talking to her, again, he's going to say you. So what's with all these yous? Well, we're going to see here in just a minute. Okay. If he's talking about these 2 girls, what would he say in English? You would say the girls are going to school. Who's going to school? They go to school. Okay. All right. Now here, if he's talking to them, it's more than one person. What would he say? He would say you or you all, right? And so what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm just going to put like all right here and like in parentheses. Okay. So we know that it's plural. Okay. Y'all, you all, you guys, whatever. Okay. All right. If he's talking about one guy, what would he say? Like who's going to school? He's talking about him. He would say, I want to hear from a few more. Number 10, if he's talking about one guy and he would be like, oh, Mark is going to school. Who is going to school? What would it be in English? He. Very good. He is going to school. So there's a he. Okay. And then he's talking about them. So what would he say? Who's going to school, you guys? Bob and Susie are going to school. Who is? They are going to school. Okay. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. I'm going to switch my screens here in just a second. So let me know if you need me to go back to that. Okay. Let me switch up here. Okay. All right. So let's do a few of these in English. Okay. I'm going to put some basic sentences up on the board in English, and then we're going to try to figure them out together. Okay. All right. So, Because it's one thing with the image, right? But we want to know in a sentence. Okay. All right. So Bob goes to school. Who goes to school? Who goes to school, you guys? Bob does, right? Bob goes to school. If I wanted to replace Bob in this sentence, I would replace it with what word? Who goes to school, you guys? He does, right? He goes to school. Okay, good job. Good job. Okay, you following me here with what we're doing? All right, I'll give you a few more. All right, muy bien. Okay, so Mark and Susie go to school, right? Who goes to school? Mark and Susie go to school, you guys. Who goes to school? Tell me in the chat or unmute in English. How do I replace Mark and Susie? They, because I'm talking about them. Isn't that right, you guys? They go to school. I'm talking about Mark and Susie going to school. Okay, good. Good, James. Okay. All right, let's try a few more. What if I did, oops. Okay, Lucy and I go to school. How would I replace Lucy and I? Who's going to school? Lucy and I go to school. Who goes to school? Good. Very good. I want to hear from a few more of you. Come on. Yes, we are going to school, right? We go to school. Now, why is it we? It's we because I'm including myself, right? It's me and Lucy. Me and Lucy are going to school. Who is? We are, because I'm going too, right? So it's me and her. We're going. We, the two of us. Okay, everybody with that? Yes? Okay, one last one. Let's see. And I want to hear from everybody on this one. Okay. Let's say it's let's say it's you and Lucy go to school. I'm not going. I'm sick. I'm not going to school. It's you and Lucy who are going to school. So who's going to school, you guys? Very good, Arshis. Very good, Elizabeth. Very good, Heaven. Rihanna, very good. Alisa, good job. Stacy, can you be just a smidge more specific? Yeah. I'm not going anymore. Just you and Lucy, right? You and Lucy are going. I'm not going because I'm sick. I don't feel good. Okay, very good, Stacy. So, well, I'm saying you, right? You guys, you and Lucy. So like you two are going to school. So how would I replace that in English? Well, I wouldn't say us go to school because that doesn't make sense, right? And I'm not including myself because I'm not going. I'm not going. Just you are going. So how would I say that in English? If I'm saying you are more than one person, I'm not going anymore. Just you and Lucy are going, not me. I am not going. So wouldn't it be you, plural? Right? Excuse my my bad typing. It's you plural, you and one other person. You and one other person. And so how do we say that in English for plural? We can say you all, we can say you guys, whatever it is, right? I'm not going though. You all are going, not me. Right? Like you all are going to Shine because you live in Columbus. I'm not going because I don't live there. So you all are going. Right? So you and somebody else is you all. Yeah. If I'm going with somebody else, it's we're going. Yes. Okay. So this is what we need to be able to do in Spanish. Okay. And so this is what I mean about practice. And this is graduating to another level. And we're going to spend quite a bit of time on this, because if we don't get this, then the rest of our Spanish is going to be real difficult. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give you one more example here. Who can tell me in the chat or unmute, whatever? I'd rather you unmuted. But let's say Mark and Susie go to school, right? Let's just take that sentence. What is the action? What is the action? What is happening in this sentence? Yes, Mark and Susie go, right? This is our action in the sentence, right? Okay, good job. Go. And so, is that the only action word in that sentence? It is. We only have the one, right? It's because it's what's happening. Mark and Susie go to school. Okay. But there will be times, there are sentences in English, let me see if I can think of one, where it's, let's say, Bob, my friend Bob, he's my trusty friend. Bob likes to go to school. Okay, Bob likes to go to school. Okay, now can you tell me how many actions we have here? How many verbs do we have here? Good, Elizabeth. Good, Kimora. Okay, good. Arsha's good. Come on, I want to hear from as many of you as possible. Akari, I don't even know that you're there. You need to speak up. Nikki, what do you say? What are the two verbs in the sentence? What are the two things that are happening? Lay, did you answer me? Yeah. So what are they, James? Can you pick them out? Stacy? Yeah, very good. So we have two actions here, like, likes, right? Likes, and to go, right? We have those two actions right there. Okay. So notice something, because we're going to need to be able to notice it in Spanish. Okay. When we said go to school, and we only had the one verb, right? We said, like, you and Lucy go to school. Okay. We go to school, right? If we had said, for example, he goes to school, right? Or Bob goes to school, whatever. Okay. Like if I made this Bob, he meaning Bob. Okay, goes to school. Well, you guys notice something here. Okay, we notice that it's you and Lucy go to school, or we go to school, but it's he goes to school. So notice that our spelling changed, right? From go to goes, depending upon who we're talking about in English. Everybody with me on this? Yeah. We go to school. You and Lucy go to school. I go to school, you go to school, but they go to school, but he goes to school and she goes to school. Okay. So notice that the spelling changes depending upon who we're talking about or who we're talking to. We're going to have to do that in Spanish as well. Okay. And so let me erase my scribblings. Okay. And so notice then, you guys, when we have two verbs, okay, here's one and here's two to go, right? This is our second one, right? That the second one kind of goes like back to this go, like it goes like to go, you know? We call this in English the infinitive. And I want you, if you're taking notes, to make sure that you write this down because you are going to hear me use this word a billion times. So what is it? Okay. So the infinitive, you guys, is a verb in its original, and I'll change the color here in a second, in its original form. Okay. An infinitive is a verb in its original form. Now, what does that mean? For example, we would never say Bob to go to school, right? We would never say Bob to like to go to school. You with me, clase? So in English, anytime you see this word to here, okay, that tells me that it is in its original form. Okay, again, if you're taking notes, if you need me to repeat or explain or give you another example, speak up, be happy to. So what does that mean? So how come then up here, right, we had like he goes to school, but you and Lucy go to school, okay? And so basically what we're saying is, you guys, that if we have two verbs in a sentence that immediately follow each other, they're like back to back in the sentence, right? We only need to change the spelling in the first verb, okay? And we're going to call that, you're going to hear me say this word a million times. It's called a conjugation. And all that big old long word means is change. Okay. All right. So a conjugation is when we have to change the spelling in the verb because it's our first verb in a sentence if we have two, right? And if we have two verbs in a sentence, the second one has to stay in its original form. Again, we would never say Bob to like to go to school, right? We would never say Bob to like school, right? We would say Bob likes school or Bob goes to school, right? We wouldn't say Bob to go to school or Bob to like to school or to like to go to school or whatever, right? So one, if we have two verbs in a sentence, the first one, you guys, we always change that one, right? And in the second one, we leave it in its original form, which we call the infinitive. Yeah, no, they're just sending it to class times are the same. If you guys got a note, they're just trying to be a little early with it. Okay. And I will let you go like a minute or so earlier so that you do have time to open a browser and put the new link in. Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yep. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so now let's go back. Let me stop sharing. And we're going to put these in Spanish, and then we're going to be done. Okay, you guys? So let me pull myself up here, get myself organized. Yeah, okay. Okie doke. And I would prefer for right now, you do not need to write this down. Right now, we need to think about it. You will have plenty of opportunity to write it down. Okay, so for the moment, I just want you guys to watch. Okay. All right. So in number one, we said he was talking to, okay. And so he was saying you, right? And so in Spanish, he's going to say usted. Now, why is he saying usted? Because he needs to be formal, because she's older. Okay. So now in Spanish, not only do we have masculine and feminine, singular or plural, right? But we have to worry about if we need to be formal because we're talking to somebody older or somebody we don't know, and or if we can be like more familiar with them, like if we're talking to our family members. Okay, everybody following me? Give me a thumbs up if I've lost you. Okay, so our word for you, when we're talking to one person, looking at my screen, and we need to be formal, we are going to use this word usted. Okay? And don't worry, we may not get through this today, but like I said, don't worry about it because we're going to spend a fair amount of time on this. Okay, no worries. Okay. All right, our next one, he's talking about himself. Well, if we're talking about, we say I, right? And so we would say yo. So yo is I in Spanish. Yo. Okay. Here he's talking about this girl. So he's saying she. So he would be saying ella, she. And that, you guys, is singular, right? Singular. He's only talking to one person. So that's where this little image can help us figure out if it's singular or plural, or masculine or feminine, or formal or informal. Okay. Here we said he was talking about these two guys. He would be saying they, right? They. And so in Spanish, ellos, right, is plural and masculine. And who can help me? Why do you think this is? How do I know that ellos is, oops, I'm going to get that out of the way. Just move it. That ellos is masculine. How do I know that ellos is masculine and plural?
Because it begins with the E and it ends with the O and an S, which is mainly used for masculine words
There
in
you go.
Spanish.
The O is masculine. Very good. The S is plural. Right? O is masculine, S is plural. So when I say they, and I'm talking about just guys, I'm going to use ellos. Okay. All right. Now he's talking to somebody, just like he was in number one. But up here in number one, he's talking to somebody older, maybe a teacher, maybe somebody he doesn't know very well. Right. And so here, though, he's talking to somebody his own age. And so he's going to say tú. And so that's you, singular, right? And informal, right? So somebody that he knows well. Okay, now you're going to go, oh, what's that little thingy there? Because our word has to have an accent over the you. Tú, meaning you, if I'm talking to one person that I know well. Okay, how much time do we have, you guys? Okay, good. I'm cognizant of the time. Okay. Okay, here we said we, right? It's Susie and me, or Susie and I. We said we. And so in Spanish, we're going to say nosotros for we. And if it's we, it's going to be plural. Isn't that right, you guys? So if it's a guy and a girl, it's nosotros with the O and the S at the end. And if it was all girls saying we, how would we change the spelling? What would happen to nosotros if it was all girls?
The last
We,
O would be replaced by an A.
absolutely. It would be nosotras, right? If we're all girls, bunch of us girls, we're going to go to the spa, and then we're going to go shopping, right? So nosotras. Very good. Very good, you guys. You're with this. You know this. Okay, in number 7, again, he's saying you, and he's talking to someone that's younger than him. So he can be informal. So he's going to say tú again. So that's you. And that is singular and informal, right? Yes. All right. In 8, he's talking about these 2 girls. So up here in number, whatever this was, 4, we said if he's talking about these 2 guys, that it was going to be ellos. So if he's talking about these 2 girls, what do you think the word's going to be? Can you guess? Yes, James. Yes, Kimura. Anyone else? What are we going to guess? Very good, Elizabeth. We're going to say ellas. Very good, you guys. To say they that are plural and feminine. Okay? Okay, let's get through this real quick and then we'll be done for today. Okay, so hang with me. We only got a few more. Here he's talking to more than one person. So here, you guys, he wants to say you all, right? Or you guys. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make usted and we're going to make it plural. So how do we say you all? We say ustedes, right? So this one's plural. So in number 1, it was singular usted. And in number 9 here, it's ustedes, plural, when we're saying you all. Yes. So good point. Vosotros is used in Spain. Since we are in the Americas, we're going to focus on ustedes. We will realize that vosotros is used in Spain to say you all, right? But we're going to focus on ustedes. Okay, since we live in the Americas. All right, let's finish this up. He's talking about one guy, you guys. So this one's going to be a little different. He's going to say L with an accent over the E. So he, right? So masculine and singular. Okay. He is going to be L with an accent mark. And then here he's talking about them and he's saying they, but it's a guy and a girl. So what's our rule? If it's mixed, how did we do like hermano, hermana became?
If
right?
it's mixed, we still do masculine because that's the default.
Exactly. Masculine is the default, so we make it plural. So if we want to say they and it's a mixed group, right? Like boys and girls, then we have to say we're going to stick with the ellos. Okay? All right. Last thing I want from you today, and you guys did a fantastic job sticking with this and a fantastic job of putting it together. Give me a 3, 2, 1. How do you think you feel about this? Now, this is just the first step, right? We still got a lot of work to do with this, but how are you feeling? 3, 2, 1. You're feeling good? 3, 2, I'm feeling all right. 1, I am so confused. How you feeling? 3, I get it. 2, I'm still kind of murky. 1, I'm totally confused. 3, 2, 1. Tell me what you need. Tell me how you feel. All right. Bueno. Okay, so our next step, you guys, once we know what these mean, et cetera, see, then we need to like replace them like with names. You know what I mean? Yeah, and we practiced that a little bit today. So One thing, like I said, first week of school, you guys, when learning another language, we need to be patient with ourselves. And this is going to be a perfect example of giving ourselves some grace and being patient. Okay. All right. We have a couple of minutes left. Remember, Wednesday, be on time. Hopefully stuff will be working. We'll review for the quiz, which will be Thursday. Okay. All right, you guys, I can't assign you anything, which is yay. We kind of get a break, right? Good for technology crashing and burning. All right. Have a great one, you guys. Check your Go Guardian for your Zoom link, right? Don't forget. All right. Adios. Great job today. Adios, clase. Nicely done. Adios.